I want to start off today's episode by giving out a shout out to Coach Lynn, John Seda, Dennis Janikowski, Brian Lindbergh, and Solo Row. Those are 5 recent subscribers right here on the Packers Report. And if you want a shout out this week, go ahead, hit that sub button. Chad Reuter of NFL.com posted a 3-round mock draft that gave an absolute haul to the Green Bay Packers. In my opinion, might be the dream mock draft. That's what we're talking about on today's show. Welcome into the show, everybody. I am your host, Joey Petersen. Every Sunday around here, we're giving you NFL draft talk. It's some of my favorite videos of the week. Really pumped to get into this one. Just a little bit of a reminder. The Green Bay Packers have the 23rd pick in the first round, the 54th pick in the second round, and pick number 87 in round 3. That's what their day 1 and 2 picks are looking like as of right now, because that's what we're talking about on today's show. Day 1 and 2, which means rounds 1 through 3. Let's start off in the first round. Pick number 23, Mykel Williams, edge rusher out of the University of Georgia. And funny enough, in my mock draft last Sunday, personal one I had Mykel at pick number 23 as well. So great minds think alike. This is what Chad Reuter had to say about Williams. Williams could go earlier in the draft. An exceptional NFL scouting combine workout would help in that regard, like it did former Georgia lineman Travon Walker. However, the Packers would undoubtedly love it if the powerful pass rusher was still available at number 23. And what I love about this pick, and what I love about the possibility of what Mykel Williams might bring, is I think that he fills Green Bay's biggest need. Okay, I've talked about it ad nauseum since I've taken over this channel, but we all know my thoughts on how big of a need pass rusher is for this defense going forward. Okay, they were good at sacking the quarterback. They weren't good at getting consistent pressure on the quarterback, and I think Mykel Williams could bring a new look to this defense. Mel Kiper has Williams as the second highest rated outside linebacker going into this draft, just after Abdul Carter, who is expected to go within the top 5, possibly even the top 3. Let's look at what Mykel did this past year at the University of Georgia. A good season, nothing great numbers-wise. 9 tackles for loss, 5 sacks, 2 pass breakups, 2 forced fumbles as well, 26 pressures, and that's kind of been chalk for him over the last 3 years at Georgia. 5 sacks was his highest. 28 tackles was his highest. That was his freshman year in 2022. 26 pressures these last 2 years. 3 forced fumbles in the last 2 years. But what I've loved about Mykel Williams is he comes alive in the biggest moments. And for me, 2 of the biggest moments for Georgia this past year were their 2 games against the University of Texas. The first one was in October when everyone was writing them off after they lost to Alabama. He had 3 tackles, 2 sacks, and a forced fumble. And then the second one was the SEC championship game against that same Texas team. He had almost the exact same stat line. 3 tackles and 2 sacks. And honestly, ladies and gentlemen, because of how well I expect him to do at the combine, and just because of how much of a freak of nature that he is, just with his size, his speed, and athleticism, I'd be surprised if he's available at 23. Okay, I've seen some mock drafts where he's gone at 15 to the Falcons. Okay, I've seen some mock drafts where he's gone at 26 behind Green Bay, okay? But with the combine coming up this week, actually, this upcoming week, I'd be shocked if he was available, because I think he's going to blow some doors off. And if you look at it, right, and I know you guys didn't see the exact same article or didn't see the actual article we're talking about right now, but Mike Green and James Pierce Jr. are still available at this current pick, okay? But in Chad Reuter's mock draft, Green Bay went with Mykel. So I want to ask you this question. If there was Mykel Williams, Mike Green, and James Pierce Jr. all available at pick number 23, who are you going with? Let me know in the comment section down below by giving me an MW, MG, or JP. Let's go to round 2, shall we? Number 54th overall, Shavon Revel Jr., cornerback out of East Carolina University. Is it Eastern or is it East Carolina? I think it's East Carolina. It is East Carolina. Here's a little bit more on Revel Jr. He's got some crazy arm length. He's got great size. His long speed is really, really impressive. What I love about him most, I think, in those pros is just that dog mentality. Okay, let's also talk a little bit about the man coverage aspect that he brings. He's a really big, strong press man corner, which if you've heard the recent reports, it's easy to believe that Green Bay might be losing that in Jair Alexander over the next couple of months. So Shavon Revel Jr. might be able to come in and fill that spot automatically. However, there have been injury concerns. He did tear his ACL this past year in week 3, okay? He can get too grabby, and at times he gets baited, bites on the double routes. However, the double routes, the double moves, I should say. However, he is a round 1 grade, in my opinion, so the fact that he might fall to pick number 54 is amazing, okay? He didn't do much in 2024 because he didn't play much, only 3 games. However, he got 2 picks in 3 games, allowed a quarterback rating of only 48.80. But let's look back at 2023. The last time he played a full season in college football, he allowed only 250 yards in 12 games. And if you do the quick math, ladies and gentlemen, that's like, 20 yards a game? 1 touchdown allowed, 14 pass breakups to 1 interception. If he's believed to be healthy, okay, and we'll find out a lot from interviews at the Combine and just from how he tests at the Combine. But if he's believed healthy, I'm all game. If he's there at number 54, I would take that in a heartbeat, okay? But the thing is, ladies and gentlemen, is I'm not so sure that he will be. If you look at Mel Kiper's top cornerback draft rankings, and I know what Mel Kiper says isn't gospel, but he's got Shavon Revel Jr. right there at number 2. And so that's why I'm saying, and that's why I truly believe, if you get to 54, I would not be shocked at all if he were available. Hell, if Shavon Revel Jr. went late in the first round, I don't think I'd be very surprised either, okay? But if he is there, I'm doing it in a heartbeat. Coming up, we got one more selection for you. Who is the Green Bay Packers going to take in round 3 of this NFL draft? But before we talk about that, I just want to ask you guys a question. Do you love the Packers draft coverage? If so, you can do me a favor, like the video, subscribe to the channel. Those are 2 free ways to help this channel out a ton, okay? I'm trying to grow it as much as I can before we get into football season over this offseason. So if you love the content I'm giving you daily right here on the Packers Report, like the video, hit that sub button. Round number 3, they go back to the defensive line, this time in the interior with Omarr, Norman-Lott, defensive tackle out of the University of Tennessee, who currently sits at number 9 overall in Mel Kiper's defensive tackle draft ratings. And Omarr Norman-Lott is a guy who's seen his stock rise a ton over these last 2 years, but especially this past year with the Vols, okay? 18 tackles, 4 tackles for loss, 27 pressures from the interior. That is incredibly impressive, especially given the conference that he's playing with. Taking that, SEC talent and playing against really good interior offensive linemen in the SEC. He started his career at Arizona State. Shout out producer Jack. Then transferred to Tennessee and has really taken off over this past year. And I watched every single one of Omarr Norman-Lott's snaps this past season. Okay, I am a proud alumni of the University of Tennessee, and I can tell you this with certainty. He has a chance to be a disruption on the interior, okay? I don't think there was a guy, that's James Pierce Jr. included, on Tennessee's defensive line that gave more hell to offensive linemen consistently than Omarr Norman-Lott, okay? And so if he's there at 3, at pick number 87, I'd be really pumped with it, okay? So there's the day 1, day 2 mock draft, first 3 rounds, Mykel Williams, Shavon Revel Jr., Omarr Norman-Lott. There you got it, ladies and gentlemen, straight from Chad Reuter, from me, to you. So play teacher for me, okay? Grade this 3-round mock draft. Give me an A, B, C, D, or F in the comment section down below. And honestly, I don't care what you give it because I'm giving it an A. Okay, I really do think that if this is how the draft shapes out for Green Bay, I'd be really excited about it. You're getting your 2 biggest needs, in my opinion, in edge rusher and cornerback. The only thing that I would maybe do differently is look for a wide receiver in round 2 or 3. But honestly, if Shavon Revel Jr. is falling to you there at number 2, I'm taking that without thinking about it. Maybe before Omarr and Norman-Lott, I'm looking at what wide receivers are available because I still think that is a need for this team. Thanks so much for watching. If you haven't already, make sure to hit that subscribe button to not miss a second of the best coverage of the green and gold.